100% guessed on the episode number. Like I was like, I think it's 19, and then I looked at the last episode that posted to YouTube, and it was 18. So I was like, oh, okay, I got it right.
Yeah, 19. We got the 19.
10.
19 episodes.
So I told you about whenever
You can do it.
I got off the plane in Connecticut that my vape broke. Did I tell you that?
Oh no!
Yeah, so the glass on my tank broke. So I had to buy another tank while I was in Connecticut. Well, I got back to where I live, and I was like, oh, let me go get a replacement glass. Mm-hmm. The only one they had was what's called a bubble glass.
Bubble.
Which looks like this.
Okay.
How big that thing is.
Yeah.
It's huge. Look at it.
I was getting ready. I wanted to do like a prototype of
vape.
No, fuck you. I wanted to do a prototype of because the Extra Life that I did with a board game group basically, and so he owns his own store, and so he was going to have this pre-release, and so I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is a game that's not even out, like maybe I can do some tutorials or whatever. So I go out, I get an attachment so I can put on my tripod. So number one, the one I was looking at online was literally just the attachment. I go to Walmart and all they have is a package that has like 8 other things that I'm not going to fucking use. So that's number one. Then number two, I get home and I can't find the attachment to the actual tripod. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just make sure it gets on the proper thing like I think it will. And it's like, okay, it does. I get it on the little tripod that it comes with, which is like a desk tripod pretty much, and I'm like, well, this is not going to work, and I'm just adjusting it and it fucking breaks. And so I was like, well, I have the receipt, returning this shit. And they are none the wiser. But it was just like one thing after another, and I'm like, I'm like trying to branch out, I'm trying to do some new stuff like board games or whatever. I'm not super into board games, but like the stuff I have been trying out lately I've really enjoyed. So it's like, okay, I want to try to go down that road, do a couple of experiments, see if it works, and especially if it's games that aren't technically out yet and therefore I can make videos on. So then the last part of that is that I happen to look up I was like, well, I'll just look it up, make sure there is no tutorials about it. No, they have one that's sponsored and it's, has like 300K views already or 3K views or something like that. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I was going through all this for something that already has a sponsor. And so I don't know. It just kind of like took the wind out of my sails, because it's just like, I'm like, oh, this is a pre-release, nobody's gonna have it. Nope. The only plus side is the guy who does it is fucking annoying. He is one of those smiley motherfuckers.
What's up, like, guys? We got this new game coming
out. No. We're just like, hi guys, how's it going? So the game we're going to be playing, did just huge smile on, just like creepy, like you probably touch children kind of smile.
So like this, hi guys.
Hi. Well, just like, okay, like overly happy drive-through guy. When you go to the drive-thru, you go to Taco Bell and they're like, hi, how are you? What would you like today? You'd like a burrito? That's what I would choose. Like that kind of guy.
So everyone who works at Chick-fil-A.
Goddamn Mormons.
It's a great day at Chick-fil-A. What can I get to help you?
I know, right? Oh my God. So yeah, it's that kind of guy. And he's like, I'm going to teach you how to play this. And it's just that fucking smile and the way his like mouth looks, like it's like 10 times bigger than like he could probably swallow an entire like ostrich egg and you wouldn't be surprised. See, your beard makes it look smaller. All right. Let's get serious. Get serious. So this is some extra stuff that we were talking about. If you want extra stuff, this is the kind of extra stuff you get. Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to the Third, episode 19. Your stop for video games, movies, and everything nerd culture. Today, we're bringing you the Power of Three with your host, Nick, Nate, and this bag.
Welcome, Crinkle Cut. Welcome to the show.
Just stay over there. Shut up.
It was either that or the back scratcher. I really was wondering what it was going to be. Back scratcher. Back scratcher.
So anyways, let's start off with some grinding. Make sure to go to TX3 Productions on Twitter, and that's how you can follow us, have some conversations with us, or even DM us, or Threat X3 Productions on YouTube. Make sure to check that out, where you can see the video version of this, and the video version is the raw, uncut, with some bonus materials. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the YouTube on Threat X3 Productions. And then if you just add at Gmail to the end of that, Threat X3 Productions at Gmail, and that's our email. So you can contact us that way as well. I guess that's it. You know, that's it. What else do you want from us? What do you want from us?
I was trying to have a gag where I just had vape coming out like as slow as possible, and it just hurt so bad. A joke, and it backfired spectacularly.
All right, so let's get right into it with, you want to know what pushes my buttons?
What pushes your buttons, Nick?
PUBG. Enough said. All right, moving on. So actually, you brought this to my attention, so why don't you get the setup for it?
So yeah, PUBG is back in the news, probably in a way that they don't want to be.
In the best possible way ever.
In the best possible way ever, with their new report of, you remember you guys hearing about how PUBG was partnering with Warner Brothers to do Suicide Squad skins. Yeah, well, they came out, and you can get a Harley skin from Suicide Squad and a Joker one for a combined $45. $15 more than how much the game actually costs.
Yay!
Which, in comparison, Fortnite just released their NFL skin packs.
Oh, okay.
Which you can also customize. You can customize.
Interesting.
Either, I think it's the name and the number on the jersey.
Oh, really?
But I probably should have looked up how much that was. But
probably should.
But yeah, no, these skins that are $45 for both of them are just skins with nothing else. Like,
all right,
that's it.
So why don't you look that up while I give my hot take on that? Everybody, get ready for the hot take. Mm-hmm. Good one. All right. So, I mean, in all honesty, Fortnite doing something like this, it'd be like, oh, okay, that's par for course. But PUBG doing something like this is just like, really? We're talking about also the same people who also has like keys in their game. I mean, this is the type of things you expect from a free-to-play game, but instead you've already paid for it, and you've already suffered through a lot of the crap that you have to suffer through on a PUBG server. Now, granted, things have gotten way better, but there are still things that persist nowadays that should have been fixed months ago, especially since they've been making gangbusters as far as sales and as far as just everywhere left and right. Pause. What's up, kiddo? What's up, kiddo? What? You're cutting?
I think she said her cup thing.
Oh, I think it's in the wicker basket. That one right there. I think it's in that one. No. That's not it? Okay. So, what was I saying? This is something you expect from Fortnite. Oh, they have keys. I mean, PUBG is probably the the best, quote unquote, the best example of how to, or I guess go back. What I was saying was the fact that they've made so much money because, I mean, obviously, a year and a half ago, one article after another about how they're breaking records here and there. And now they have the best records of total sales. Now they have the best records of people playing at once. And all these people, I mean, other than a certain percentage that obviously pirated it. Other than that percentage, they're making a ton of money off of being independent. So it's not necessarily like a Fortnite or like a Call of Duty, for instance, where they have so many back pockets that they need to go through. Because like Call of Duty can do gangbusters and they can do $500 or $500 million, and it's still not be enough for Activision. Whereas like PUBG, they don't have as many people. I mean, obviously they still have like Tencent and stuff like that to answer to. But my point is that since they're independent and not like a mainstay person, they get more of the money to start putting towards their crap.
But so would you say Epic is the same?
What?
Wouldn't you say Epic is, because Tencent owns Epic as well?
Oh, that's a background thing I did not know about.
Epic. Yeah, so they're both the same, but it's just funny how both differ, like between Epic and Bluehole.
Yeah,
so like it doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. So update on what I was looking up. If I can figure out where it went. The NFL skins. Mm-hmm. The NFL skins. I'm reading this from Sporting News. The NFL skins will be Epic tier, which means they will cost 1,500 V-Bucks in the Battle Royale item shop. There are also referee skins that are 800, and you can also buy, which is actually kind of cool, a goal post pickaxe for 800 V-Bucks as well.
Okay, nice.
The only difference is you will only need to purchase one NFL skin from the item shop, and you are then able to swap between any of the 32 teams you want to use.
You get 32 skins for $15.
12, I think, actually, because if you buy 1,000 V-Bucks, that's $10.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, so it's $15.
Yeah, so $15, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're thinking too hard. Stop
you
that.
You can also customize the jersey numbers to match your favorite football star. There will be 3 male and 3 female skins to choose from. So yeah, you can buy for the same price, actually cheaper than you can buy one Suicide Squad skin. You will also be able to swap between any of the 32 football teams that they have on the roster.
Wow.
So for the same price as buying both the Harley and the Joker skins, you can buy a referee skin, 1 or 2 different skins for the jerseys. You can buy the goalpost pickaxe. You can buy the first down pickaxe.
Nice.
And like for even less than you would for those 2 skins.
Oh my God. I mean, talk about the difference between like just night and day. Epic, like Fortnite is showing like why they're winning. I'm sorry. Like if you're a PUBG fan, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I will be one of the people who say I don't think Fortnite is as big of a deal as it is. However, I will also not sit here and talk about how Fortnite doesn't deserve what it's getting, and what it is getting, it makes perfect sense. It's a free game. And I will definitely be one of the first, because on one of it was like our second or third episode of Once in a Fortnite, where we talked about how the skins themselves are too expensive. I will be one of the people who say that $15 for an epic level skin is just like way too much. And what I actually did back then is I looked at the same company made by Epic. So I looked at like Paragon, and their Epic levels were only like $10. They had every once in a while, they had one that was $15, but a lot of their Epic level stuff was actually only $10. So it's the same company overcharging from one game to the next or whatever. And so, I mean, it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind. Go ahead.
Here's the thing too. I'm not a big football fan. I never have been.
Definitely. Yeah, me too.
But I'm watching on the same page. There's a clip from Ninja using, I think it's a dolphin skin.
Yeah.
And
What color is it?
It's blue. It's white and blue.
Okay, yeah.
It looks super cool. Like, it's just interesting to see NFL jerseys and someone wearing just complete NFL football gear.
Yeah.
Fortnite. It actually looks kind of cool. Whereas the Harley one, now I will say the Harley one does look really cool. It looks almost one for one Margot Robbie's and Suicide Squad, but the Joker one looks like a busted ass cosplay. Like,
really?
It does look like I'll send you a picture.
Yes, please. Like send me a picture. Because I even went to the official like PUBG, and I don't even think they officially announced it on there because I couldn't even find that shit. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, I cannot believe this, and this really does push my buttons because we're talking about a game that is not free to play, and that is the main difference. Now, we could go to another game, Rocket League, super popular game, and it also has keys and boxes and stuff like that. But then when they come out with skins, how much are their skins? Have you played Rocket League a lot? I want to say they're like anywhere. What?
I want to say there's something like $10.
If I remember right, what I paid for my Back to the Future car. So obviously things could have been, I mean, that was year one. So this is year whatever. Things could have changed. But what I remember paying for my Back to the Future was $199. What I paid for my Donna Justice Batmobile was $299 or something like. So maybe it was $299 and $299. Honestly, I can't remember because it was so long ago. But that's what I mean, $299 for a car because all you're doing is looking at it. That's all you're doing. Nothing is special about it. It's not like, okay, for instance, it's not like the Save the World where usually when they give you a new character and it has a new skin, it might also have different abilities. And so you're buying it for the skin, obviously, but you're also buying it more for like, because it actually does something. In Fortnite Battle Royale, it is literally just a skin. It is literally just what you look like. Whereas in, like, let's say the werewolf, there's a werewolf in Battle Royale and there's a werewolf in Save the World. Well, the werewolf in Save the World is like a ninja, so it has different abilities compared to other ninjas. Now, all the other ones might have similar ones, but they always try to make them different so that it doesn't just feel like literally a reskin, even though that's what it is.
So for anyone that's watching the YouTube, I am showing right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The Joker and Harley skin. Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, that looks like Margot Robbie, at least like a better version of Margot Robbie, whereas that... like the paint doesn't even, oh my God, the paint doesn't even go all over his face. Nope. He is white just over his eyes, just over his nose, and maybe a little bit on the lips. Other than that, he's
a chin to cheeks to forehead. It's
a circle. It's a freaking circle. Not only that, his lips aren't like red. I feel like that's a staple of Joker where he has like really red lips.
I don't know if in Suicide. I mean, I was too distracted by the face tattoos to even notice.
Honestly, I think what might have made it better, not acceptable, but what might have made it better is if you could have the tuxedo and shirtless version of Joker. You got that, and you got to switch between them. Because like the shirtless Joker, I mean, if you're buying this skin, it's probably because you actually like Joker, because otherwise, why the fuck would you buy it? Honestly.
Joker shirtless one would be so much more badass to come across.
Exactly, because he has all the tattoos and whatnot. And so whether or not you agree with that, it still would look badass in the game.
It really is so interesting to see PUBG just completely like fucking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's definitely. And I actually think that they're going to go free to play soon. I think I heard that that they may, or they're giving it away for free. It's something like that.
Yeah, maybe you'll get it with your games with gold for the.
It is. No, it's going to be on Game Pass.
Xbox. Oh, Game Pass. Yeah. So pretty much free. I mean, it's just the same as like Netflix being free.
Yeah, free.
Yeah,
Dr. Evil, free.
We're gonna give it away for free. I want a shark with freaking laser beams.
These skins are going to be 1 million in-game dollars.
Yeah, so that is what pushes our buttons. Let us know. Or do you play PUBG? If you do, what is your specific reaction to this? We would love to hear it in the comments down below, or you can get to hold of us in any of the other ways. Moving on up to X3 Reacts. So X3 Reacts is where we react. You know, it's this brand new thing I just invented where we react to something.
Oh, it's a good thing nobody has a copyright on React.
Right. That worked better last time. Coach like really went into it. Thanks, Coach.
It really did. That was good.
That was genuinely funny. Okay. That's what you'd get for trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice. Yeah. Fuck it up.
You get struck.
All right, so X3 Reacts, what we're actually going to be talking about today is the new Mowgli trailer that just recently came out. First off, what did you think about it?
So I didn't see the trailer until before we started recording.
Got the reference you were trying to do.
Mowgli. So I didn't actually see the trailer in full until before we started recording. The video I did see was, I think it was something sponsored from Facebook, but it was Andy Serkis talking about his choices for who he cast and their performances.
Wait, is Andy Serkis the fucking director?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see that. I don't know why, but I did not see that in the trailer.
The one thing now that I've said it, one of the things that gives it away is how detailed everyone's all the animals' motion captured faces are.
Yeah,
because that's what his company is like, bleeding edge technology.
Right, of course.
Motion capture. But so after seeing the trailer, I was like, I had multiple thoughts. So I'm going to break them down.
Break it down.
First of all, it looked fantastic. It looked amazing. Yeah. I didn't see Jungle Book 2016.
Okay.
But I feel like this will inherently be a better movie for multiple reasons. One of which is I trust and I really loved everything that Andy Serkis has done, especially the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. I know he didn't direct those, but he had a large hand in the creation of them. My other thought was watching the trailer immediately got them trying to make a statement.
Okay.
Of being of something along the lines of deforestation or like humans against animals.
Okay.
But while watching it, the same thought came across my mind of, I'm okay with this movie trying to give me this statement because I feel like it's going to be very genuine, and I feel like they're going to actually have a interesting thing to talk about or interesting point to bring up.
Yeah.
And that again goes back to the trust I have in Andy Serkis, primarily with the planet. Although I haven't seen War, and I've been dying to see it.
What the freak hell?
From Rise to Dawn. Thank you. From Rise to Dawn, I was like, I remember watching Rise. I was like, oh, that was good. That was a really good Planet of the Apes. And Dawn came out. I'm out of the movie theater. I'm like, that was fucking fantastic.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like this is going. But the coolest thing about all of this is it's a Netflix movie. This isn't coming to theaters, so far as I know, in the U.S.
Right. And that was one point of contention that I had, like, because I could have swore I saw that it was. So I don't know if like the trailer I happened to watch was like the Titan trailer. Well, you can find a Titans trailer that is Netflix, but it's only Netflix in other countries, correct?
Yeah, because I think that they can't. There probably was some distribution issues with DC's server in other countries.
Whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Or I mean, it does make sense, but it's like it definitely like caught me off guard. That's for sure, because it was just like I didn't expect something of this caliber. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Netflix.
Yeah. And I mean, I always say this every single time we're talking about Netflix movies. I always be like, "Oh, it's good for a Netflix movie," and I really never mean that a mean way, but then this might be one of the first, other than Bright, which I will defend to the death. Bright was a freaking awesome movie, but other than Bright, like this is one of the very legit like blockbuster movies of Netflix.
They're also
This is how it ends.
They also have another one with Chris Pine that I think is out now or coming out. The Outlaw King. Yeah, it's available now.
Outlaw King? What the hell are you talking about?
It's a movie with Chris Pine. It says in 14th century Scotland, Robert claims the crown and leads a fierce uprising to win back the country's independence from English rule. I mean, this movie looks like Troy, or looks like the
nice
movies that have come out in the past that have these big budgets. So
right.
I think we've joked at least through this past year about how good for a Netflix movie. I think towards the end of this year and going forward from now on, that statement probably is not going to matter anymore. Like, I think Netflix is really pushing the envelope.
I really freaking hope so, because obviously there's always going to be the stinkers. I mean, just like if you would pick something up at a Redbox, there's going to be stinkers. But like, I do enjoy the movies. I mean, so far all the Netflix originals I've watched, I've enjoyed. You know, was it always the best? You know, like The Package, it was a funny little movie, but was it the best like raunchy comedy? No, not really.
It was fucking funny.
I mean, it definitely was. And I'm not trying to, you know, have like Netflix be its dark mark. But that's also my point, is that I don't want Netflix to be the dark mark. I don't want somebody to just be like, oh, it's just quote unquote a Netflix movie. It's like, it's still worth your time.
Yeah, we want Netflix to have that moment at the Golden Globes.
Right. And the other thing is also that I feel like because it's a Netflix movie, it can also have unfair advantages. Like Bright is obviously one of the biggest things. Like the critics absolutely tore it apart. Is it a great movie? Is it the best movie of the year? Absolutely not. But it also just didn't deserve the amount of hate. And most people who are just every average Joe, you know, watchers, when I saw reviews of it, everybody was like, you know, this is all right. This is pretty good. I mean, I like this and I like this. There's some complaints here, you know, but it's just certain critics just absolutely tore it up because it was a Netflix movie. Also, and then some people also just have this preconceived, like, oh, this is a Netflix movie, I'm going to hate it. Yep, I was right.
Now, Bright may be in a different circumstance, because when it came out, do you know who Max Landis is?
Oh yeah, that's the writer, isn't it?
That's the writer.
Yeah, he had his whole shit going on, right?
Yeah, he had the whole kind of Me Too equivalent thing going on, where there was an accusation as Bright was coming out. So people were like, don't support this movie because you're supporting someone who sexually assaulted or sexually harassed someone. So Bright may have had an unfair advantage out of the gate.
True.
And just kind of went and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, good point. So back to Mowgli. Back to Mowgli. I mean, it does look like a really good version of the Jungle Book. But then obviously the biggest question I have is like, how many of these can we get? One of my main things I'm going to bring up is all the main Jungle Books. And these aren't like the straight to DVD versions. These are the ones that at least made a trip to the theatrical. They were theatrical releases. Okay, so we have 1967, 1994, 1998, 2016, and now this makes 2018. Now, altogether, there is 12, not including sequels that nobody knows about. So that's including the cartoons that like went straight to DVD. Maybe they're only like 30 minutes long or something like that. So like, I don't know. You know, I like, how many times can we retell this? And I'm kind of on your side, Nate, where I'm on your side as far as like Andy Serkis. As soon as you told me that, like, and that happened live on air, people, as soon as you told me like Andy Serkis was part of it, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm interested. Before I knew that, it was just like, here's another Jungle Book. And even if you look at like the trailer for the Jungle Book, the Disney one, and then this one, Mowgli, what's really going to be different about it? They both are live action, quote unquote, movies with CG characters and big big names playing all them. You got Bagheera, you got Baloo, you got Shere Khan. You have big names playing all those characters, just like in the Disney version. And I mean, like, what can they do that's interesting that I haven't seen before that I'm gonna give a crap? And if what you're saying is, oh, they have a message behind it, all I could say is like, okay, the other ones didn't.
So they probably did, but Disney has had some exceptions where they and there's definitely more, but one right off the bat of recent memory would probably be Toy Story 3 for me, because I remember going into, I was like, oh yeah, Toy Story 3, we're coming back to like, childhood or whatever. And Toy Story 3 was fucking dark. It was so dark.
Yeah.
And so Disney has had runs of telling an important story in a Disney way, but still making a statement in a Disney way, but still making a statement. Whereas this one, I feel like it's going to have, I feel like it is going to be different because it's not Disney, someone else's hands. So they don't have to adhere to making this because this one's PG-13. Mowgli's PG-13.
That is a good point.
And I think what was 2016 PG or G?
Probably PG, honestly.
Yeah. So that is probably I think that this is going to be an adult. I don't think it's going to be an adult, but it's going to be a more complex Jungle Book story than even the most recent live action Disney one.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I hope it does good, and I'm definitely going to watch it. And there's like a 90% I'm going to enjoy it. And I don't know, like there's a very good chance that I even might enjoy it more than the 2016 version. But I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, first off, like I personally relate Jungle Book to the cartoon version. So like when I saw the Disney version, even though it was Bill Murray singing it, him doing "Look for the bare necessity," like thinking it was nice. I mean, obviously it wasn't the same. And then freaking, what? Not John Wood. What? Who's the?
What?
Who played the monkey?
In 2016?
Yeah. Why am I blanking? James Wood? Not James Wood.
What was the monkey's name?
Louis.
Yeah, Christopher Walken.
I don't know why I kept thinking James Woods. Like Family Guy got in my head. It got in there deep. Anyways, so Mr. Walken himself, and I feel like it fit the character, the monkey or whatever. It fit, but also it still wasn't like the original, And so there was that part of me. So like this could be different enough for me to separate it from that, but also it's just like, oh, here's Jungle Book without songs.
That's another thing. King Louis is not on the cast list. It's not on the cast list for Mowgli.
Is it really even a Mowgli story if the Louis isn't going to be in there?
So correct me if I'm wrong. In the other Jungle Book stories, because it's been years since I watched the first cartoon, first Disney cartoon. Did Mowgli come back to the humans, his tribe, like towards the end of the movie?
Oh yeah. That was that was the main thing that happened at the very end. It's like, oh, you can't stay here anymore, and it's not safe or whatever. So
the way that this story looks to be panning out, at least from the trailer, is that he grew up. He was raised by wolves, raised by the wild, and then at some point when he reached this age, he sees his people and they're like, oh yeah, that's your people. It's like, you know what? You should go to them because that's your people. And him trying to assimilate back into there, but realizing, hey, I come from both worlds. I need to do something about this. That's the story I got from.
Yeah, I could see what you mean about that. As far as just going off of what we saw in the trailer, there was definitely more shots of like humans than what I, even just the very original, 1967, cartoon or whatever. It definitely does seem like And if they do kind of focus on that, that would be something to make it separate itself. But it's definitely a question of if that's going to be enough, I guess. I just hope it's not a bait and switch, okay? Because one thing that absolutely pissed me off about, did you see the most recent Tarzan? With like the guy from True Blood ripped as a motherfucker?
No. I wanted to.
No? Okay, so what I'm talking about bait and switch is if you watch the trailer for it, the trailer makes it seem like an origin story. If you watch it, like there's no other way to see it. It looks like Tarzan's origin story. But when you watch the movie, the origin story is flashbacks. The entirety of the movie is actually, it happens years after he's assimilated himself back into Great Britain with his wife, Jane. And so now something I can't remember because it's, it wasn't that wasn't that memorable of a movie to begin with, but something happens where he has to go back. And so then it's still kind of a fish out of water story because it's like he's trying to assimilate himself back into the animals to, I don't know, but my point is that was a huge bait and switch for me because it's like I was expecting one thing and then they just pulled the rug from under me. And it's like, actually, no, this is what the story is about. But because of marketing or whatever, I don't know if the makers of the movie really had that much to say as far as marketing or whatever, but it just seemed like a big slap in the face. And it's like, I don't know, part of what I enjoyed about it was actually like the flashbacks and getting to see him. So it's like, I would have much rather this been the sequel to the movie rather than I see most of it in flashbacks. So it's like, I don't know, but what if that's what we're going to get here is a bait and switch? Oh no, this isn't the Jungle Book you know and love. It's been years since he's been back with his tribe and now he's going back into it.
Yeah, I don't know. But this definitely has piqued my interest for sure.
Oh, it's 4:20. Everybody, toke up.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's 5:20 here. Fuck.
Mountain time. Woohoo.
Colorado High.
Geez. Anyways.
Rocky Mountain High, sorry.
That's the way it was. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so that's what we think about Mowgli. Nate's super excited about it. I am too. I mean, I'm not gonna not watch it. It's freaking Netflix. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I still haven't watched the new Sabrina yet. So,
oh god, yeah, I've wanted to.
Which, by the way, that there's an update to that story. Anyone listening, and Nick, you heard probably about how the Satanic Temple was threatening to sue Netflix and Warner Brothers?
What?
Okay, yes. So fuck, I can't believe you haven't heard this. So
I don't hear most things.
The Satanic Temple was threatening to sue Netflix and Warner Brothers for their depiction of
Satanists.
No, it was a depiction of a specific temple, and I'm gonna find the name of it. But an update is they actually filed the suit. It's a $50 million suit against Netflix and Warner Brothers.
Damn. So season 2 will go all to Satan. They got to make season 2 just to pay back for season 1.
Which is actually funny. Oh, okay, here it is. The Satanic Temple, a non-theistic religious and political activism group, first threatened and then actually filed a lawsuit against Netflix over the statue, claiming that the defendants misappropriated the TST Baphomet children in ways implying the monument stands for evil. The lawsuit seeks $150 million in damages.
A Satanist group is complaining that they made something too evil.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Welcome to 2018, everybody.
Right? It'd be like Germany be like, oh, no, that didn't happen back then. Yes, no.
Right? No, but funny enough, my wife hadn't been feeling good today. And so that's fucking 5 o'clock this morning, put on the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch because it sounded good. And we've been watching that all day. Like the first season of that show.
On Hulu, isn't it?
Yep, it's on Hulu.
Yeah. Go to Hulu. Screw Netflix.
Right.
What's our sponsor this week? Oh, fuck, it's Netflix.
delete.
Oh, man. So, Mowgli, what do you guys think about it? Up next, we're going to be having an open discussion. Open concussion.
Open fuck.
My word, why would you say that? I guess, first off, like what was your discussion? I have a topic down, you don't have a topic down.
So
a needle pulling thread, me a name I call myself, far long way to run.
Okay, I got one. What would you say?
What would you do?
as of right now, what is a contender for your game of the year so far?
Oh God. We're gonna have this like episode like next week. It can't wait a week.
Well, yeah, no, I'm excited to do actual game of the year discussions. But so far, what do you think is going to be yours as of right now?
Let's be honest. What else do we have?
Like as far as games?
Yeah, we have Fallout 76, and I'm gonna love that to hell and back. And Fallout it will be on my type 5. I can guarantee that right now. But that's not gonna be my game of the year. So I'm like legit asking, what else do we have that would even consider game of the year? So like my point would be is that I'm going to be giving up my game of the year here rather than in our next episode. So I don't mean to rain on your parade. This will be the extras for all the YouTube watchers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like there's nothing else that could come out and dethrone my game of the year. So therefore I'm giving it up a week, or I'm giving it up, just giving it up.
Because I have a discussion that I want to talk about, but I'd rather talk about it when someone else is here.
Okay. So I'm not good enough for you.
Okay. Well, I'll just do it.
Yeah, just fucking do it. All right.
So I guess the opposite of that.
What'd you say to me? Go to work, you jackass.
I'm getting paid.
Wasn't that great?
I felt that fucking 2,000 miles away.
2,000 miles away. He felt that.
I'm glad somebody did.
Jeez, God, I need to get you some fucking burn heal for that. Jesus Christ.
All right, so the opposite. You're asking what's my worst game of the year?
Yeah, what's your most disappointing game of the year?
I was actually going to make a video about this. So now you've already screwed up another thing for me. Thanks.
No, you can have an actual no.
No, I can have a different YouTube. Don't worry about it. No, my biggest disappointment of the year, I think Shazam. No, my biggest disappointment of the year is probably Earthfall. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was Left 4 Dead, but aliens. At least, obviously, that's what they marketed themselves as. That is kind of what it is. But in so many ways, it's not. It's not even close. It is. And I mean, let me be 100% clear, because most of people who are listening probably already know this, but just in case we got a couple noobers in here, I play on the PlayStation. I don't have a PC strong enough to play Earthfall. So my experience in it is fucking horrible. And my experience is it is a bad version of it. I don't know if this happens on the PC version, but just the graphics are horrible. Absolutely horrible. And a super annoying thing, and this is the fanboy in me. I'm gonna completely admit to that. This is the fanboy in me talking. But when a little notification comes up in the top right hand corner of my PlayStation, but it's a notification that looks like the Xbox version of it, fuck you.
Oh, that's bad optimization.
Fuck you. It's something as simple as, you are connected online, but it's it's a green thing. It's not blue, it's green. And it's like that little bit just like triggers me every time. I've already deleted it. Like I officially deleted it, I think last week or something. And I've been keeping it on because it's like I've always tried to get my wife to play it. Because like that's the only way you can play that game is with somebody else. Playing by yourself is just meh. Oh, I mean, obviously, just like any other game, you have bots. They don't do the objectives.
Well, even still, Left 4 Dead was fun to play by yourself.
True. I could totally agree to that. That's a very good point because there wasn't, even though there were things that you need to do, like pick this up, take it over here, even though there was things like that, the other characters were competent enough to, and I mean, if I put the bots up to like the highest difficulty, I get highest AI, then they're like one-shotting every alien, and that's no fun. So like, I don't know. What disappoints me the most about it is the fact that I was expecting something like Left 4 Dead, but now we're aliens, and it just wasn't, you know. Even Vermintide, which is more of a hack and slash that happens to have projectiles, even that is a 10 times better game than this. And I would argue that this is the most Left 4 Dead-esque game because it actually has guns, whereas Vermintide is melee focused with bow and arrows and, you know, a couple of guns and stuff. But you know, you really have to treat your ammo a little bit more sparsely in Vermintide because it's definitely more melee focused. But Earthfall, yeah, it's just so disappointing because everything that I've watched live streams of it, I've watched, you know, hour-long videos of it, and I'm like, this looks awesome. This is great. Oh my God, this is Left 4 Dead, but with, you know, with aliens. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I was so excited about it. I got it. And it just wasn't. It's just not. And I think one of the main things that no other game has gotten is the feel of the quote unquote story, because I mean it's a very loose story in Left 4 Dead, but the feel of the story, and basically each level that you play is pretty much like a movie. There's 3 acts to the movie, and so each one has their own, you know, like crescendo and everything. And then obviously the very end of the level is the biggest crescendo, and it's the biggest climax. And no other Left 4 Dead, whether we're talking about Payday, Vermintide, they completely ignore that part of the game. And so no longer, like, instead of having a big map where there's 3 segments of it, which is how I would describe a Left 4 Dead, you know, level, instead of it being a big map where there are 3 segments, each segment is its own level. So then you have to like get out of the game just to go back to the new area. Vermintide at least had somewhat of a coherent story throughout the whole thing, but it was still, you had one mission which could last like maybe 5 minutes, and then you went to the next mission. And I would argue that each mission would probably take you just as long as each segment in Left 4 Dead, if that makes sense. So you could do 3 segments of Vermintide in a row, and you play one level from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like Payday is a good example too. The only reason I play Payday, or I played Payday in the past, was just like to do a heist thing with friends. That's all it was. But you have Left 4 Dead, even though there's not there is a story, but it's not a heavy story in Left 4 Dead. There's moments you remember, like in Left 4 Dead 2. I distinctly still remember having to talk to that guy in the gun shop. I had to go grab him cola from the store and bring it back to him in the box. You know, you remember throwing all of the like gas canisters from the top floors of the mall down to the ground so you could fuel up the car, and, you know, Dukes of Hazzard style, just bust out of the building. You know, there's moments that you remember. Oh, the rock concert. The Rock concert, that was one of my favorite moments,
Yeah.
like big climax moments, because you're fighting hordes of zombies on a stage with pyrotechnics and waiting for the helicopter to get there. And
Yeah.
there's stuff that you remember, but you can honestly say that there are things about Earth, like you really don't really remember anything about Earthfall, would you say?
I mean, the thing is, I just didn't get that far in it because I didn't want to play it by myself.
But nothing was memorable from what you played.
Yeah. I mean, I would have played maybe 4 to 5, little missions. And I mean, that is the biggest difference between, Payday, Vermintide, is the fact that they're loosely stringed together, just like Left 4 Dead is stringed together. But at least each one, like the hospital is probably one of my favorite ones. The first act, you're just getting through the town. Second act, you're getting through like a more industrial area. And then the third act is the hospital. But obviously at the end of the second act, you're getting to the hospital. And then the third act is you fighting your way up the hospital. So the whole, I want to say Mercy. It's like something Mercy. That's the title of it. But it's basically a movie.
Left 4 Dead 1.
Yeah, in Left 4 Dead 1, it's something Mercy. But that's the movie. It is a movie. Whereas then if you look at it on the same Richter scale, what they're focusing on is just a mission.
No Mercy.
No Mercy. Thank you. So that's what they're focusing on, is just a mission. So even though their missions feel similar to a segment from like even down to like getting gas and fueling up a car and, holding down an area, even though those feel similar to a segment of Left 4 Dead, it doesn't put it together in the same 3-act structure, which makes Left 4 Dead so freaking awesome. You can do one like 2-hour stretch and you played one movie essentially of a zombie flick. And that's one thing no game has gotten right. And this game is, here's another horrible thing about it. And then we can get to your biggest disappointment. Here's another horrible thing about it. It's now 3 or 4 months after it released, and they just now added progression.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, that's
how freaking, like, Payday had progression from the beginning. That's the point of going through the missions over and over and over and over again, is to progress. Vermintide, in my opinion, has the best progression because it has like a Diablo-esque loot system where you have your whites, your greens, blues, purples, and oranges. So it has a loot system, but in a Left 4 Dead world. And then you even have like daily challenges, and from those daily challenges, you get like different color ores. You use those ores to upgrade your weapons and stuff. So like that has the best progression in my opinion. And then this one doesn't even put its progression in until months later. And the progression it does have is just these perks. These are the type of perks that like you get in a zombie Black Ops Zombies. Like, what the fuck?
That's not good.
Not good at all. Yeah. So yeah, that is definitely my biggest disappointment. What would you say yours is?
I think mine, without a reasonable doubt at all, is going to be Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. Wow. Really?
Yep. Really? Out of everything I've played in 2018, which to be fair isn't a whole lot.
Right.
But from what I've played, Far Cry 5 is my most disappointing game of 2018 so far.
Yeah. I mean, now would you blame that 100% on the story, or was it a whole package kind of thing?
I think it's an expectation thing.
Okay.
Because I loved Far Cry 3, loved Far Cry 4, really liked Primal. Going into 5, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for that another Far Cry moment. Like, when 3 came out, I played it nonstop, loved the entire experience of it. Get into Far Cry 5, was definitely a slow burn. I still really, really enjoyed it. But just the ending of it, kind of, it didn't ruin the whole experience, but it kind of did.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
definitely.
like I know that
That's why I asked the question about the story, because I mean I can agree with it as far as like the story goes.
Well, I think at launch the game, the package as a whole probably would be an answer, just because, you know, although the multiplayer was fun and the Far Cry Arcade was fun, it was still broken.
Yeah,
Like they were having to fix it. And
like you not being able to play your own damn map unless you have 6 players that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, also, like, and I will say that I really enjoyed their DLC. Like coming straight off of Far Cry 5 and going into the Vietnam one. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Into darkness.
Into darkness.
Hearts of Darkness.
Path of Darkness, something like. Anyway, the Vietnam one. The Vietnam one was great. The Vietnam one immediately was what I wanted out of the newest Far Cry game, because it felt like Far Cry. The map was different. I loved the choices they made for this one, for the DLC. And then the Mission to Mars was really good. I actually never played the Zombies one, so I'm kind of curious how that one netted out. But just there was a lot to 5 that I just didn't care for. I liked some of the new things that they added, but also at the same time didn't. You know, I like choose your own adventure stuff. I just didn't like it in 5. I don't feel like it worked well in 5.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the story. I think the story, like Jacob, I've said before, is my favorite part of the story. It's my favorite like segment, but there just wasn't a cohesive story there for me to enjoy. And then to top it all off, literally no matter what choice you made, nothing mattered at the end is kind of a slap in the face, because at least with 3, you had the choice of, I could either like leave and go with my friends that I've been trying to save the entire game, or I can kill my friends, fuck this hot warrior chick, she kill me so we can make a baby, and that be the ending, which that was the ending I chose. The second playthrough. And then in 4, you had the whole, pick your own adventure kind of thing. You had to decide you had to figure out who you wanted to side with, the brother or the sister. But I feel like both of those choices mattered, whichever one you chose, because you got a different outcome.
Yes, I could agree.
Whereas this one, spoiler alert for a game that came out in fucking February, you pick the one where you kill Joseph and the entire world you don't kill Joseph.
Yeah, that's the worst part. You don't even fucking kill him.
Yeah, you cause the apocalypse, basically, cause all the nukes to go off, and you're locked with him in a bunker, or you walk away and then, only you plays, and then I black out and I kill my friends. I mean, it's...
Yeah, either way, your friends die.
I have never had an experience in a Far Cry game where when that happened, both story-wise and my enjoyment, I was like, I've got no reason to go back to it.
Right.
And I've platinumed or almost platinumed every single Far Cry game except for Primal. So I was planning on doing that with 5.
Yeah.
But just when the nukes went off, I was like, I don't care. I'm not going back. But it's kind of hard to compare it to Spider-Man and God of War at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfair for me to say it's my biggest disappointment, but I also think it's fair because I do have valid criticisms about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not as harsh on you. The story was the biggest deterrent for me. But I will what's the word? I will compare it to how I felt about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, in that a lot of the ideas I saw from this is going to make the series better, but there was a lot about it that was unnecessary, i.e. the fucking story. Like, I didn't need to go through that story to have all these cool mechanics. Like being able to, somebody's just talking about something and that's when it shows up on your map, rather than buying a map and that's what shows up on your map as a map. Like, that was really cool. And I like the more organic feeling of it. And it's like, that is the bar, and Far Cry always needs to meet that bar from now on. I want it to feel like an organic world. I want it to feel like it's a lived-in world. But
I also like the companions. The companions feature I liked. That was really cool. I enjoyed that because the NPCs actually did something. They actually worked.
Definitely. Yeah, but I think I am less harsh on it, even though I completely agree with everything you say. I think I'm just less harsh on it because, like, as much as I was excited for Far Cry 5, like, I was more so for Earthfall. So it's like Far Cry is your Earthfall, I think.
Yeah, well, I think what also has a lot to do with that, and I know you can agree with this because we've talked about this before. We were so excited for Far Cry 5 to come out, we started a podcast about it.
Right? Yeah.
And then we ended it, when we finished the game, but we ended it on a bad note. We're like,
yeah,
well, and so that has a lot of negative thoughts in my mind as well because of that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if we could go back in time and be like, oh, well, we're not going to. I mean, I think other than just enjoying the game, one of the main reasons was because of the arcade. And we're like, oh, this is going to create fun for years to come. And that's why I feel like it deserves its own podcast. Like the same reason I did one for like Fortnite. I believed in it. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so I made a Fortnite podcast. And that stopped for, many a multitude of other reasons. But yeah, this one just straight up stopped because it's like,
yeah, and it was at the same time of like the arcade didn't work. Like I was super excited for us to do top 10s and to do the other stuff that we were talking about, but it was so difficult to do them because it didn't make it easy for us to do them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I had to go search for something or jump into a public match to play a map that I found. Whereas I could have just went into a private match by myself and walked through the map. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, the creations that were made with the map editor were really cool. I mean, I remember the Last of Us level that I played with the angels.
Oh yeah,
the zombies. That was great, and there was a lot of really good content in there. But I don't know.
No,
I'm just disappointed.
I feel you. I feel you deep inside me.
Well, I don't know about that.
I feel it. Oh man. So yeah, that's our biggest disappointment. What's yours? That's a good one. Well, my topic of the day is actually going to be double movies, and that's this weird phenomena. That Hollywood, honestly, how do you think this happens? They'll put out a movie like Olympus Has Fallen, and in the same year, within months, sometimes even weeks of each other, they put White House Down. Like, how does this happen? Pause. Hey, baby. Yeah, Mommy should go to work. I know, Mama had to go to work. I'm almost done in here, so we can play after Daddy's done. You're playing with Play-Doh? Yeah. All right, you go have fun, kiddo. Can you shut my damn door? Shut the door, please. Pretty please. Sugar on top. Oh, that's my door. Yeah, thank you, sweetie. I love you. Fucking kid. All right, what did I say? I said...
You said double movies.
Why do you think it happens?
I think it happens because I think there's a script that's brought to execs, or there's a script that's brought to everyone, and they're like, I like that idea. I think it comes to like, here's this idea. Okay, cool.
I think it'd be better with Channing Tatum.
I think it'd be better with Channing Tatum. So I think it's just like a difference of like creative difference kind of things. Like, I think I could do it this way. Oh, I can do it this way. I think,
you could go with that.
But it's something I don't know because this has happened. I'm on a list of twin films.
Okay,
and this goes back as far back as 1938.
Oh Jesus!
So
scrolling
I didn't think it was
that far.
Yeah, so scrolling back up. Now there's some on here that I don't necessarily agree with. Like there's one that was like Rambo: First Blood Part 2 came out in 85, and then Commando came out in 85 as well. I don't know, maybe
I could see. I mean, because you have Stallone, but I would argue that like anything from Stallone and anything from Arnold Schwarzenegger are very similar. So yeah, I don't know if that counts.
We also have like this one. I could see you have Weird Science and Real Genius. But like I think as time like closer to now, it's gotten much more apparent and much more worse. Coming to let's see, what's the first one?
Let's see, Paul Blart, Mall Cop, and Observe and Report.
Yep, that's a good one. Let's see. Let's get out of the 90s. Let's go to
Yes, get out of the 90s. Fuck the 90s.
I think this is the perfect starting point. Ants and A Bug's Life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Deep Impact, Armageddon.
What was the years for those? Was that the same year or was it like
same year
right after? Same
Actually,
year.
Both Ants and A Bug's Life and Deep Impact and Armageddon were all in 98.
Oh God. See, and that's the phenomenon that I'm talking about. How it would be one thing if like a really good example is 2016, the Disney's Jungle Book live action came out. Now 2018, so we're talking 2 years after is when the Mowgli story is coming, or I guess it's just called Mowgli. I got confused because there's another live action that's actually called Mowgli Story. So anyways, but that's 2 years. You could argue, even though the production of it probably started way back, but you could argue that part of the reason why Mowgli is being made is in response to the Jungle Book. Whereas there's sometimes like A Bug's Life and Ants, man. What was it called? Ants. Oh, Just Ants. That's right. Just Ants.
Just Ants. It'll be okay.
And then Armageddon and Deep Impact. These happen sometimes, like I said, within months of each other. So it definitely makes you wonder. You kind of touched on it. Like, is a script just like thrown everywhere? Because obviously you want to try. You don't want to just go, oh well, this is a movie that clearly Lionsgate would want to make, so I'm just gonna only show it to Lionsgate. No, you want to show it to Lionsgate, Universal, Paramount, Columbia. You want to show it to everyone so you have more of a chance. So then, is the reason we have two of them come out at the same time is because let's say Universal sees it and they're like, oh, I joked about it before, but this would look better with Channing Tatum. And so then they flip it around a bit. They're like, oh, who would make a good, Obama? Jamie Foxx.
I think there's a difference here too. I think there's a difference in a same story, but being told by two different people. And I think that's okay because I'm interested in that. But I think there's a difference. Prime example being Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, where it's a similar premise, but with a different thing. So like a good one would be Hercules. You had the rock version of Hercules, and then you had the one with the big dude from Twilight.
Yeah, the Twilight guy.
And so that's the same. And also Steve Jobs, the multiple Steve Jobs movies that came out, the one with Ashton Kutcher and then the one with Michael Fassbender. So that one I feel like I agree with, or I understand more, because it's like, let me get these different directors' takes on this one story. But whereas you've got like I think another one was
I would
Oblivion
argue
and After Earth.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would argue that like Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down are so similar that it's confusing.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Sorry. I thought you meant that they were just similar premises, but they were different enough. Okay, sorry.
No, yeah. So I agree with like Steve Jobs and Hercules. Like, let's have a couple different versions to see which one we like, and a couple different versions of Steve Jobs and see which one we like. But you have movies like Oblivion and After Earth and Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down that are so similar that it's like, well, what's the difference in between the two? I have more leniency with the first example I gave than with the latter. Well, like, for example, Olympus Has Fallen is a so much better movie than White House Down.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm just going to say it right now. Yeah. It's got Gerard Butler in it, but it's also a way better action movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, White House Down, I mean, they kind of both went for cheesy 90 action, but Olympus Has Fallen took the extra step to make it R, and therefore made it like fully 90s or fully 80s for that matter, if you think about it.
Yeah,
because just the gore and stuff.
Yeah, there was another one that was like I had it. Sky High and Zoom.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
I never compared the two. I love both of those, and I can't compare them just because like I love both of them. But those came out, like one came out a year after the other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and see, funnily enough, aren't they both Disney?
I don't think so. I don't think Zoom is Disney.
Oh, okay.
That's the one.
I just see Tim Allen. I'm just like, oh, that's Disney, obviously.
I don't think it's. Who did that?
I mean, what movie isn't Disney in one way or another? They control everything.
Well,
They're
now
controlling
they do.
even the sports that we watch.
Columbia Pictures.
Right.
It wasn't Disney, so yeah.
Yeah.
Now Wikipedia's want me to log in. Like, what the fuck?
Damn it, Wicca. Wicca what?
Oh, also another one, The Prestige and the Illusionist.
Oh, yeah, right? Oh, yeah. Wow. And see, that one would be the same thing where it's like you could confuse somebody by saying, oh, yeah, when Edward Norton played that one, magic movie with Christian Bale.
Right.
Oh, man.
Oh,
but yeah,
I find that one thing they have on this list, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Civil War as twin movies. I don't think that's comparable.
No.
I really don't.
I mean, I don't know.
They also have Venom and Upgrade on here, so the credibility on this list is really starting to go down.
I did like Upgrade though.
I really want to see Upgrade.
Yeah,
Venom was
so
interesting. No, here's the thing. I liked Venom when we got out of the movie theater. Both me and my wife were like, that was really entertaining. But as we're going to explain it to other people, we're like, yeah, it had some flaws. Oh, wait, there are more flaws than we thought. Interesting. This movie really doesn't make any sense. But there was a lot to it that I surprised. Like, the little tangent. One of my biggest moments was when I read that.
When you pooped yourself?
I know, when there was a review for Venom that it seems like the only people who don't understand that this is a serious movie is Tom Hardy in Venom. Eddie Brock in Venom. And I was like, oh, that's not good. But watching it, I was like, oh, I really enjoy this humor.
Yeah.
So
the funny thing about Upgrade versus Venom is that the Upgrade has the
like Tom Hardy.
It's the discount Tom Hardy. But it's by Blumhouse, isn't it?
It is. And also, like, I think the thing that's really makes me want to see Upgrade, apart from the humor, is the cinematography. The cinematography looks phenomenal.
Oh my god. Like the way they do their like steady cam because he's not controlling his body. When I watched it in the trailer, I was wondering, is this gonna get annoying? But in the context of the movie, it makes perfect sense because the only time that happens is when he's not in control of his body. So it's a character in the movie, so to speak. It's just the way it moves. He's not in control of it. So just, oh God, I loved it. It was awesome.
There's actually a breakdown about why all of these movies are twins.
Oh God.
Both are films about intelligent symbiotes which are attached to and talk to their human host, giving the human powers and abilities, but gradually taking control of the host. Respective stars Logan Marshall Green and Tom Hardy are also noted to be physically similar.
Just a weirdo.
Quick question. From 1 to 10, how graphic is Upgrade?
So 10 being like Saw, or 10 being give me a gauge.
1 being, did you see Happy Death Day?
No.
That's a really good one. You should check that out. 1 being thriller level of gore. Is something worse than Saw?
I don't know. See, because I would say some of the deaths are pretty Saw-esque, but I would say Saw is definitely a 10 because that's all it's about is the deaths. Whereas there's actual characterization in Upgrade. So I'd say an 8 or a 9.
Because I saw one death in the Red Band trailer for Upgrade. It's
right.
The first
one. He does the knife.
And he's like basically splits his jaw.
Yeah.
So I was like, oof, that was a little rough.
Yeah. There's a couple more like that. I would say that's probably one of the more creative ones, but yeah, it gets pretty good. What's up, kiddo? What's up? Okay, if you go, Daddy's almost done. He's really, really close. I just got to wrap up, okay?
Okay. It's almost Christmas.
Not really.
Almost.
Okay, almost.
Whoa.
Honey, why don't you go out there? Daddy will be right there. Okay. Okay, you need your pot? Okay. You need to come in here just for your pot. Close the door.
Speaking of
Thank
420.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyways.
You would think that there would be a Robin Hood movie on this list because I feel like there were some comparable
No shit, right?
Robin Hood movies that were back to back.
Right. Other than maybe Men in Tights and the Kevin Costner one. I think those are the only ones that were really, really close together.
No, I'm thinking of the not Kurt Russell. I'm thinking of the fuck. What was his name? Oh my god, what is his name?
What's his name? Tell me the name.
I'm gonna feel the Gladiator.
The Gladiator? Oh, you mean oh, why did you do this to me?
I
What
know.
have I done to you?
Russell
What
Crowe.
have you Russell Crowe?
I feel like Russell Crowe's Robin Hood came out with another Robin Hood.
Yeah, I think the thing is that Russell Crowe's Robin Hood came out at the same time that they were also trying other like realistic Arthur. Like I'd say Arthur and Robin Hood are similar because their looks at historical figures, but in a more quote unquote serious way or whatever.
Did you like Russell Crowe's Robin Hood? I really liked it.
I hated every minute of it.
Really,
honestly, it was just so long, and it just feel like. And now that I know the story behind it, because there was a lot of behind the scenes things, and they had to cut a lot out. Like apparently, like the actual cut of it is more like 5 or 6 hours long, and I'm like, oh, that actually probably would have made a better movie. Like if it would have been more of a
Arabia kind of thing,
huh?
Like a Lawrence of Arabia kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it was clear that there were some things cut out, and there was just, I'm like, who's this? Oh, okay. And then, I mean, a lot of people's problem with it is the fact that he's not really Robin Hood until the very end, which I get it, it's an origin, whatever, but still, it's just like, I don't know. I didn't really like it because I just don't feel like it was necessary. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there was enough Robin Hoods, and that one had the added, messed upness of the fact that just how messed up the this just getting it made was. It's like they really should have just, cut and run.
Yeah. Well, I really do. I think that this new Taron Egerton Robin Hood is probably going to be up there to be one of the better ones. Hopefully.
I mean, it at least looks fun while also being. It looks like just a fun blockbuster, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Guy Ritchie version of King Arthur, the most recent one that came out.
Yeah.
It's got tones of it, but it looks like it's not going that full weird Guy Ritchie direction.
Yeah. That's a good point. I agree with that point.
I'm full of them sometimes. I'm also full most of the time.
Yeah, full of it. All right. So that is the show. But first off, we've been kind of out of the lately because like it was just one. Let's not get into that. But we haven't been doing like our comic books and our comic book of the week and stuff like that. So we're trying to get back into that with our random movie of the week. So the random movie of the week is where we choose one at random, obviously. We choose one at random, and then we watch it, and so then we're going to review it or talk about it on the next episode. You can also join in the discussion if you go to TX3 Productions on Twitter or ThreadX3 Productions on Facebook or anything. You can join in that. We also have a Discord, and we have a page dedicated to that, so you can go there. So usually we have 3 people, so I have one person choose a random number, then the next person choose a random number, but through the power of the internet, I have a random number generator. So I'll still have Nate choose a couple of numbers, but then for the one where we usually have somebody else choose a number, I'll just have the random generator do it. Okay. So first off, Nate.
What?
Green or red?
Green's my favorite color, so I'm going to do a curveball and go red.
Okay, so that's Hulu. See, see what I did there?
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go to movies. Okay. Movies. There we go.
Pick a way.
All right. So, Mr. Bag. 1 through 10. Choose your number.
Is my first name Douche?
4. So the random generator was 4.
Oh, you were talking to the guest. Talking shit about me. I was like, my first name.
Okay. So 4. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Featured. Okay, Nate. 1 through 10.
I'm feeling a 6.
You're feeling a 6? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What the heck? Active measures. Oh, it's documentary? I don't know if I want to watch a documentary. So, Active Measures chronicles the most successful espionage operation in Russian history.
That actually kind of sounds interesting.
That does kind of sound interesting. And at least it's not a super long. It's only, it's almost 2 hours. It's 111 minutes long.
Yeah, so that's about an hour 50.
I mean, it's in the movie section. Why would you put a documentary in a movie section? It's not a movie.
A documentary is a movie.
No, it's not. It's a glorified YouTube video. Come on, let's be honest. All right, so Active Measures is our random movie of the week. I mean, sometimes you get gold and sometimes you get Active Measures. I mean, that's just how it works. Oh my God, the picture of it. The picture of it is like somebody's taking the lid off of the White House, and
the lid.
And under it is a Russia building. So this isn't clearly, trying to hint at something. So anyways, okay, Active Measures is our random movie of the week. And it is, like I said, it chronicles the most successful espionage operation in Russian history, the U.S. presidential election of, wow, this is super political. Do we want to read?
Yeah, let's re-roll.
Let's re-roll. I mean, we're okay. This is extra for all you YouTube watchers. You won't have to put up with this with the
trailer's up like right in the front of it.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go down that road. So, okay. So, I mean, I can't do red and green again because.
So I'll just pick a different number.
Okay. So yeah, do the same thing where you do green or you do red. All right. So Nate, red or green?
Let's go blood red.
Okay, so that's Hulu. I tricked you. All right, so now we're on movies. All right, we're going to do random generator. What number do you choose? 9 or no. No means no. Remember that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, thank God we went past the documentaries. Because number 8 was documentaries. Okay, critically acclaimed. All right, Mr. Nate, what is your random number?
Let's go 4.
4. 1, 2, 3. And number 4 is Amelia. Okay. I've seen this. I know of it, I think, but I've never actually seen it. It's a good old 2-hour movie. Good job, Nate.
Oh, wait, hold on.
What?
Amelia, it shows to be an HBO add-on.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right, then pick. Oh, wow. Why does it do that? That's stupid.
So 6.
Okay, so then that brings it to Pleasantville. Okay. That's not horrible. I've just already seen it. This has gone
way downhill.
so bad. I mean, it is random, right? I mean, should it matter that we've seen it before?
I don't know because I've seen Pleasantville too. I remember.
They made a second one?
No, I've seen Pleasantville as well. You know, you have a problem with twos. I can't tell you how many times I've either seen it on the iTunes or on YouTube where you're trying to say two and it's TO and it just goes, oh. No, I've seen Pleasantville as well.
Okay. I mean, let's just stick with it because I'm sick of doing this.
Yeah. And there's probably a lot of people who haven't seen it, so
yeah, that's a good point.
it's a really good movie.
Yeah. Well, don't say it yet. You're giving it away.
It's I don't know if it's a good movie or not because it's been 10 years since 12 years. I don't fucking
And
remember.
honestly, that might be the cool thing is that we'll be watching it again. I mean, let's see really fast. So this is a 1998 movie. It's officially been 20 years since this movie's been out. So who knows? Maybe Tobey Maguire used to be good at acting.
God, I fucking hope so.
Oh man, this was the prequel to Spider-Man, the Rammy trilogy. All right, so Pleasantville is the rando movie of the week. So you can find that on Hulu if you have it. It's 2 hours long, so prepare for that. But you know, we'll give our impressions on that. Also, if you'd like to give your impressions and maybe like fan theories, because I know there's some of those out there. I'd like to talk about that. So that's our random movie of the week, and next week we will talk about that. So thank you so much for joining us for this Nerd to the Third. Thank you, Jessica, I want to say.
I thought it was douchebag.
Right. You're a bag of douche. You're so baggy. Thank you, Nate.
You're welcome.
You know you're welcome. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And thank you for joining us for Nerd to the Third, where you can always talk nerdy to me. Get dirty with me.